and we are live. But Sandhya, my interview start with the fact that my Facebook always loads. I think I'll have a series of this film and then it starts echoing, so I have to switch that off before I even start my interview because technically I've not reached there so advanced that I can. Just give me a second. We are live. Yeah, did you hear that?
Yep.
So all my interviews like that, 40 mothers, every interview starts, wait, I'll introduce you. So good evening, everybody, and good morning, where people are going to join me from different parts. I know some of you are just waking up. And I have a very, very dear friend and somebody I know now for 10, 12 years. And I totally, totally love her. And I have not even asked her, would she be part of this project? I had just decided that she would be. We have Sandhya Raman with us. I totally love her. She's here from Delhi. And Sandhya, please introduce yourself because I tell people that the person who lives the story tells the story the best. So I don't read any biodatas. I don't read anything about anybody. I would like to listen to your story all over again, though I know a lot about you. So welcome to this show. And I'm very glad you're going to be part of this book that we are creating together all over the world.
Thanks, Shikha. Thanks for having me over on this. So 100 mothers is a sound. It sounds really, really exciting. And so we met mothers, each one of them are very special. And so it's really nice to know that one can be a part of an exciting journey that you are making as a mother also. I've known Shikha for now little more than a decade, maybe 15 years or so, I think, if I'm right. And she came in as an amazing photographer who would capture, images with a spirit, with an emotion. And I was just floored by the way she would capture portraits, people's expression, the twinkle in their eyes, and so effortlessly, naturally. So we got along talking, and as creative people would be. So it was it was a love at instantly. We loved each other. Our respect for each other was there, and it was really wonderful to meet Shikha. So about me, I'm a costume designer, and both me and my husband, we run a company called Desmania, which is a one-stop shop for design. Of course, his area is industrial design for product design, and I take care of the textiles and costuming and crafts and everything to do with the softer aspects of design that I work on. So my journey in design started almost 30 years back. I came out of NID, and then I met my partner there. So I'm going to talk about my life. I'm going to talk about me as a mom. I'm going to talk about me as a person rather than me as a professional over here.
Yes, so yes. And Katrina is here saying costume design, how fun. So we have the audience coming in. So I think I was also fascinated, but I'll listen all over again. What is this whole journey of Sandhya from being Sandhya to a mom? And then we'll go on to more questions.
So I come from a very conventional Tamram family in Delhi, and we had 3 siblings. I'm the youngest of them. My sister's a professor, a lecturer teaching literature. My brother's an oncologist, and I'm a designer. So that's the combo that we were in the house, and very closely knit family, very close siblings, and born and brought up in Delhi, growing up in Delhi and moving out for my education to Ahmedabad NID. And when I was just passing out, close to my passing out, I met Anuj there. That's my partner, my husband. And of course, we got along very well. And then that friendship turned into a relationship, and finally we got married. And then there's never been a looking back on it. And very supportive, very affectionate partner. So we had this great idea that we will start a design house, and under one roof we have all the departments of design. Like anybody has a design problem, they can come for solution to us, and that's how Desmania started. And then I would travel a lot. I would be working in craft sectors. I'd go to Orissa or to Gujarat or to Punjab, worked with the artisans and the craftsmen and the weavers and the embroidery people. And so my work was almost 15, 20 days. I was there in the villages or a small town or other space other than being in Delhi. And that's how my life was. And I would come back to Delhi, and then those next 10, 15 days was like home, family, this, that, some projects trickling and things like that. So we were the pioneers to start off design, to establish design in India. In terms like way back in 94, we had a design company. We wanted it to be a proper design company. And I started doing costume designing there. And on the way, I had my daughter, and it was very exciting because I should share this with you. With my first project, I was expecting my daughter, first child, Arundhati, and I worked on a project on songs of Tagore with an international ballet company, Jonathan Hollander, Battery Dance Company in New York. And I was expecting my daughter, and I went to the US, and I traveled all over the US in this with the performance and me doing all the costumes for everybody. And the high point was that after every performance, the entire audience would get up and, give a standing ovation, because here was a full pregnant term month. I was 7th month already over there. So 3 months I was just traveling with the kids. From 4th to 7th month, I was just traveling with the troupe and being there. And it was such a wonderful feeling. And then I have an uncle there who said I should give birth to my child there. I said, no, I have to be back. I want an Indian baby. I have to have her be born in India. And, so there I am a diehard, Indian mother.
Yes.
And I wanted her to feel the culture of this country and be here and, understand everything. And that's how Arundhati, my first daughter, was born, my first child, I would say. And then it was just, it was amazing. I had a cesarean. I went into this exciting thing of, getting enrolled into a nursing home which had natural delivery. So natural it was that they didn't even have any ready. They were not ready for any emergencies. And as luck would have it, I had to have a cesarean in a natural delivery place. So it was chaos at that time. And the lights went off, and my gynecologist rushed back there, and it was like, oh my God, why everybody was after my life? Why the hell did you choose this place? Just because you wanted to have this natural delivery bed. But then anyway, everything fell in place. Everything was fine, and then there was no looking back. It was just a bundle of joy, amazing questions like any mother would go through. And then a couple of years down, around 3 years later, had my son, Raman. He was born on 1st of March, and he shares his birthday with his grandfather. And it was a very emotional feeling to have a child after your father-in-law's birthday. My father-in-law is no more, so he would share that. So it was a very beautiful feeling. And so then I decided my family is complete and I don't want any more babies. But what was interesting is that I had a very supportive family. And my parents, my in-laws, they're always there to help me out in whatever I wanted to do. And of course, Anuj also. So I could continuously work. There was no way I stayed back home and or do anything which would take away from my working aspirations, And that's when I had a very wonderful master who, after my delivery, I came back home from the hospital and he came to meet me. And I said, Master Ji, I'm not going to be working for some time. I'm going to take a couple of months off. So my line and the work that I do, I think I'll postpone and we'll relook later. So why don't you, think about this later? So he, I owe my working to him because he's the one who said, no, you're not going to stop working. I'm going to come to you every day and take the work and go get everything made and come back to you to get your approval. I don't want to see that you're saying that you're not going to work for 2 months, 3 months. And he came from a remote village near Kanpur in UP. And he had this thing for me that, this girl should be working and not. And I didn't expect, this came from someone you can't expect, from the background that he comes from and everything.
Right.
You never would think that he would inspire you or push you to, be on the job. And that's what kept me going, and he would come every day, and he would take the work, he'll come back for approvals, he'll make everything, and slowly I inch my way back to working after my first baby, after giving birth to my first baby. So within 40 days of which is supposed to be a so-called rest period, I was back to work. And now it sounds very crazy, but at least 25 years back, it was quite a normal thing to take a break for 40 days after your baby. So
Oh yes, even now, I think it's not. It's that's what it's expected. Even now, yeah, people come back, but yes, it's expected to rest, cesarean, and other things happen. It's definitely, and just your story of natural birth that you wanted. We have one of the mothers. I don't know whether you know of them. She's Rashmi Palkhiwala's the Palkhiwala family in Mumbai, who have a story of. The whole family decided to do a natural birth at home in Mumbai. And she only kept a student because they belong to a spirituality family, and the whole family is into yoga and they teach yoga. They said, no way, we're having doctors. Only a student for the first time when the first child happened was standing there in case there's an emergency. And she was telling me that my father-in-law was rubbing my back, my mother-in-law was, doing it through the thing. I could go take showers. I would just sit whatever 24-hour labor, and the whole family delivered my baby at home. And also, it's the same time that you must have had your first child. And she said the second time it was only me and my husband. Like and now they teach how to have natural births at home because they were from spirituality. And when I'm hearing you, I hear her, and I told her that these kinds of things comes from, also from a lot of family support and spirituality in the family. Because when you say that you are supported to go and take decisions like this for your birth, a lot of times majority moms, even if they want to do it, they're pulled by a lot of conflict coming in. Families doesn't want it, they want everything to go absolutely okay and decisions. And even I was actually, me with Shaurya as well, my first one. I think it was 4 days left, I was still shooting, I was still driving. And I'm actually sitting in one of your events also. I was all 9 months pregnant, I think some dance event. I have a picture in one of your events in your studio. And I was also considered total crazy because I would climb up the stools and take pictures of kids even in my peak pregnancy. So I can actually imagine you were even almost 10-15 years ahead of me. And at that time in India, to even consider to travel like that, and do your work and have the design company. And anyway, the whole design thing has now developed and respected. At that time it was just like, for this you're going to go there, are you going to risk yourself for this? Like, it's just a design, like it's just an artist, what are you doing? Now it's totally different. Like, they have come up in 25 years as professions and say, no, you must. But hats off to you that you did that, and that's an inspirational story which I did not know, and that's why I was 100% confident there's some story that will come from Sandhya that will be inspirational as a mom because I know you. And the support that you're talking about is very, very important. And we
yeah.
have commitment, and we have Melanie here, and all of them are joining in and sending so many hearts to you. I don't know, I've not got so many hearts. Like, the hearts are just going up,
So
So
what's
thanks for support.
interesting is, every you look back and it's like a flashback happening. No, this whole
Yeah,
topic that you've chosen, it's literally like a flashback, and you have to pull out
right.
each little petal and see there's a story in each one of them. There's so many, this bouquet has so many flowers, and each flower has so many
Oh, yes.
petals, and each one
Oh,
is
yes.
so important, and that's what makes you what you are.
Right.
So so work was always close to home. So I moved into Delhi. Initially we were in Noida, and the commute was very long because by the time I would come with Arundhati to my workspace, she'll be dozing off, and then I'll finish work and go back and she'll be dozing off again. So my husband said, there's no point of her dozing off all the time. When I come back from office, she's dozing off. So might as well let her be awake when I come, you know.
Yeah,
So we
yeah,
shifted to Delhi, to
yeah.
Saket, and we've been in Saket along. And then parents were also in Saket, so we're another block. I'm an A block and they're an N block. They were an N block. So they were a
Yeah.
huge support, and children would always come back from their nursery school or wherever they were. They would come to dad mom's home, and they would know mom's just a shout away, so they could call me or they could walk into my office. So that security for them was so important, that kuch
Right.
bhi ho, mom is around, you know. That's the thing that I really cherish, and that's the thing that I'm sure they also cherish. And they grew up with the grandparents, so every day they would meet, and they'll wait it for 5:30. Till then they won't say anything. 5:30, you know, I remember my son would wait when I'm late or something. He'll tell my mom, you know, the birds have gone home and the sun has gone home and everybody has gone home. I have not gone home. You know,
Awesome.
so these kind of
Anyway, I
memories.
love him. It's such a gentle soul. I love him, and I know I've not met him for some years now, but I totally love him and his enthusiasm in photography and his 100 questions about photography.
Yeah, he's
Uh,
become a filmmaker now, and he
Imagine.
finished his filmmaking from Savannah just this year. He
Wow.
graduated. Now he's in New York, and he's interning there, and he's got a optional period for training for a 1 year that you can do after you do a course from there, you know. So he did a 4-year course in filmmaking, and he made a short film, a very short 15-minute film, which has been selected in a couple of things. So you have been quite inspirational for him as a child. You know,
I
these
remember
things
my
are memories which are there. Remember the shoot we had in our jhula in my house,
yeah, yeah, that's
and how
I,
how both of them were all shikhanti. They were all small.
and I love both of them. I've moved cities, and that's why my memories with them is very clear, especially with Raman, because he was so around pictures, he was so around, and I can't even imagine that for me, that boy is just that boy look that I have. If I see him, I probably will be in a state of shock. My God, when
he's
did he grow
he's
up?
almost he's almost 5'11" or something, and he's tall. And now even I keep sending him his old photos and say, look how clean and chikna you are, and how fine you are, you know, smooth and everything, and all hairy beard, you know, how the new look is. He said, you'll never want me to grow up, you'll want me to be one bacha all the time. So
Yeah.
that's how I think mothers look at their children.
Oh, absolutely. And you know why? There's this one part of you being this mother who did it, who juggled, who did it, and when a mother is in that zone, she doesn't know how she's doing it. But when she's out, it's very easy to talk. But when you're doing it every single day, it's a juggle, it's a struggle, it's a lot of stuff that's happening. But more than that, there are some facets of you. I've always found you very motherly anyway. The way you approach your clients, the way you've approached me, I found that motherly, thing. Anyway, you embrace things in a very nurturing way, no matter what you do. And this whole project started with the fact that every mother, when she becomes a mother, does lose her self-image and self-love, and she starts moving back without realizing that she is going down every day, step by step with her image. It's not the same. The body is not the same. The time is not hers, and many many mothers stay there. And what happens is, and as my camera and as passionate about I am about uplifting mothers and people through portraits, I also realized that I found myself surrounded by that chatter when I became a mom. And I'm like, why am I talking just like other moms who I always spoke about, saying that, my God, you're absolutely gorgeous, can't you see that? And I couldn't see it in myself. And then I started this self-portrait movement, and I started this whole self-portrait journey, and I slowly came out of it. And I realized that this chatter was just not a chatter for the camera. This chatter happened when we are folding clothes. This chatter happens when we are walking. This chatter happens when you're dressing. The chatter is everywhere, and the mother is surrounded by it. And most of the mothers say, don't take my picture. They put their hands in front and they say, don't take my picture. And like, if for God's sake somebody puts their picture, which is not nice, into a family picture today in a zone, I mean, the amount of criticism that will come out of it. And Sandhya, what I found in further research across the world was that the ripple effect was coming on children. You must be finding teenagers coming to you very, very conscious of their images now. they're not okay if things don't go perfect, and the ripple effect is coming down, that photography is not about memory, photography is about image of looking nice. It's no more about, so that's passing on. And then something had to stop. And of course, I was judging it when I started this project. I'm guilty of judging it purely by saying that it's just about bad self image. It's just about let's uplift them, because that's what I did with my work, photography wise, right? And then I found that mothers had layers and layers and layers of stories. Some of them had violent marriages, some of them had abusive marriages, abusive childhoods, and they were carrying all that into their own motherhood, and then trying to solve that when they became a mother. First, things hitting them which they don't remember as a child, that getting solved, and layer by layer by layer. And this project has picked up pulse across the world. And mothers, I go to I just go and introduce myself, and this is what I'm doing, and I see tears rolling down on mothers saying, how did you know that we felt like this? So why I am revising this is because I think after talking to 40 mothers, I have not revised it for a while, and I'm revising it again in this interview. But the first question I will ask you, you're one person who talks about, like, I, even if I came with this negative self-image of my body, you just put the person in such a beautiful way, the outfit in such a nurturing way, that suddenly the outfit is on us and we're like, my God, I'm so gorgeous. So what do you think that that chatter is all about? Like, I always say before I hand it over to you that sometimes it's just a bad camera angle. Why are we so critical? We've just taken a bad camera angle. Similarly, we've just taken a bad cut which doesn't suit our body, or a bad cloth that doesn't fit into our body. Why can't we just accept that and not be so critical? So what happens when these mothers come in, and then what happens when they come with their daughters? That would be very interesting.
That's very interesting.
Yeah. So
You
let's talk
said
about that.
right. So there are all, it's a mixed bag, right? There are different kind of people. So the first question for you is what do you, how do I approach people? I just for me profession comes it's like my skin. So it's natural. I don't have to force myself. Oh, I'm a designer. I do clothes, and I have to be looking like I've just stepped out of a magazine every day. No, it's me. I make people look beautiful. I make people look special. I make them, and it is. I just believe in what they come for. So for me, those values are very important. If I'm making them something, I'm very honest with my profession. And if whether I'm going to make money of it or not, I tell them this works, this doesn't work, this should be done, this shouldn't be done. And if you're going to do this, this is what's the plus and minuses are. And then each one has a certain charisma, charm, something beautiful about them. And I really feel it's not about this is in style, so let's wear it. You are the person who's in style. You are the one who has to wear anything and make that look wonderful. So that confidence is what I try to give to all the people I work with. And it's not that I hand out, complete solutions. I always would want that extra special touch coming from my client to her garment. I might have made something for Shikha, and I might have made something for Jayashree or X or Y, but then a little extra that she would add, and like Jayashree might wear a silver with it, and maybe she takes a little long pendant with it, or she just puts her hair up in a different way. So these are personalized styling which adds to the clothes. So that's why my clothes are mostly classic. And I work on those lines, and I work with weaves, and I work with textures, and I work with things that will last, because like relationships, I feel clothes have a certain memory to it. So I want them to last. So I want these memories to be literally etched into your mind, that every time you pick it up, you remember why you bought this, or where you bought it, and who sold it to you, and who made it for you, and what is the art behind it, or the craft behind it, or where it comes from. So many things are added. It's just like, you can just open your mother's cupboard, and one old sari you'll take out, and it will be her mother's. And then there's a whole story behind that. So you have thinking, Nani ji ne ye tab pehna tha, or my grandmother wore this then, or then you say, Mom, did you wear this for your wedding? I want it. As a child, you say, I want this sari. Mom, when you're distributing your saris, I want this. Everybody would have said something, whether it's a sari, or it's a jewelry piece, or it's a stole or a shawl, whatever. So those are memories. And those memories are what is important when I work with people, and that's what I make for people. It's never that, okay, now this is in fashion, buy this, wear this, and throw this away. No, that's not me. And I don't believe that people should be doing that. And
That's why I'm a big fan of your stuff. Like I'm still wearing. I was just talking about it that what was made on my wedding. I'm going to complete my 10 years. I made everything from even distributing little sweets were made by the packet was made by you. So I'm still wearing your stuff, and it comes down to the same thing that what I'm saying. I do it with photographs. You do it with your work, and many mothers do it with many things. We
correct,
are uplifting mothers in certain way and telling them you're gorgeous, you're beautiful, just the way you are, right?
perfect,
And
yeah,
you're doing it you're doing it. You're talking about memories through your cloth, and I'm talking about memories through pictures. But we are talking the same thing, that embrace it, show up. Showing up is the important part. Everything else falls in place, and that's why this movement has a pulse to it. And why like I definitely wanted you as a mother, because I feel that like your stuff, like a mother stuff, lasts forever, right? For me, I still hold it and I still wear it without feeling that I've repeated it, because it's so unique, it's so me, and it's very rare to find. And if we start finding people like that, where a mother can say, it's so me, it's so, like when I go for shoots, people say it's so me, it's so much me, like this is who I am, you just got it out. How did you see this person in me? And if we can start like through our professions making these little differences and make them like feel amazing, that itself is an impact, because a mother feels down and you're such a nature person. I've come down to this part of the interview so much that I've started to feel that this whole mother earth which we are talking about, and I'm telling you, there's some really gorgeous stories which are coming and which has already been told. And the pulse that I feel, and I've absorbed these energy. We talk about this earth as a mother earth, but the nurturer is in pain silently, right? How will this mother earth be healed if the nurturer who's nurturing, who's giving birth, who is moving forward with so much pain, self-doubt, violence, and so many things, and silently suffering it, how will we bring that nurturing, and how will the person or the child who's getting nurtured bring this planet further ahead? So that's why I felt that this project had even a bigger picture to be taken care of, because the nurturer is in pain and this pulse of a mother needs to be addressed. At first, I thought it was India when I started with a narrow view. I just thought it's because we're in India and because we're a traditional society and this, but if we
universally mothers are all around.
absolutely
Universally mothers are caregivers, and they extend, culture rests on their shoulder. They are the ones who actually pass on this oral tradition of telling things and stories and recipes and ways to do things, and it's not written down and said, it's just the way they do, and you subconsciously absorb this. And at that point, you may be refuting her and saying, no, 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 don't do this, don't do this. But 5 years down the line, you'll also be doing similar things.
right.
A
I
few years when you're on your own and you're independent, you'll be following certain things that you subconsciously, inherited, or it got etched into your memory. And it comes in with the DNA kind of thing. This
right.
question that you asked, what happens when mother and daughter comes? So there are all kind of combinations, right? So there are pushy daughters, there are pushy mothers, but I just feel that if there was a space given to both, and I just feel like there are a lot of mothers who are very, very forceful, and who do want to say this is the way you should be doing things. And I just feel you should step, we have done so many things till today, right? So you have a daughter who's in her 20s or something, so you are at least 20 years older to her. So give her that space, and you see how beautiful the relationship will happen, because then there's a conversation that's happening. There is
Right.
there's a dialogue, and there is space, there's room for her to tell you things and express herself. So I just feel that portion has in we need to handle very, very carefully initially, for
Right.
mothers and daughters or mothers and sons. And
Oh yeah, even
you
for
know
sons. I was talking to one of the mothers in South Africa, Sandhya, and when I was talking to her, she's like, you know, Shikha, I have two daughters, and this self-image that I keep criticizing myself, if they keep hearing me, you're right, they will pick it up. And I must stop this chatter about myself and criticizing myself while they're growing up. And I said, but you have daughters, I also have sons. I need to raise them with the fact that they need to see that a mother goes through this, and they need to have the sensitivity that this is the chatter, rather than judging her, uplift her, hold her, make her feel okay, and say, I'm with you, and my sons need to uplift either their wives, their sisters, their friends tomorrow. So they better learn how to understand, because it's not to judge men, it's just it happens to a mom and it is real. And then the fact that it can be, I have a cheerleader who's a man who people loved it because he said, I'm guilty of it. I didn't understand it. But with the second child, by the time second child came, I understood, and I picked up my wife, and he's, I don't know, forgotten what country he's from. But we had this whole chatter. And that's why you said it very nicely. And I like the fact that you also said boys, because our boys need to uplift the mom when she falls rather than judging her. That, and this pulse is so
I
real.
must share this cute conversation with my son, you know. So if he would not eat something, or let's say, so it so happened that my mother would tell him, please khalu now, please mere liye khalu. So his grandmother would say it to him. So when a few years down, so when he would not like to upset his grandmother, and then he eat, for grandmother, please have it. So in Tamil you say party. Party means grandmother. So he would say, party, khalo, please have this, don't go empty stomach. So while little baby boy, he would eat for her. So few years down the line, when I would say, Acha, Arvind, please have this, she'll say, you stop, blackmailing me like party. So you can actually, resonate in what he has to say, how a soft spot they develop from grandmother to mother to them. And
we
I'm
pass
sure,
it on as well. Yeah? We pass on it to generations, how we feel, we keep passing on. And there are some mothers who've actually done a lot of self work to stop a lot of trauma also passing, because they saw their grandmother passing it to their mother, the mother passing it to them, and then they decided, I need to stop it and I need to do this self work so that I do not pass it to my this thing. So there are so many layers and kinds of mothers that happen. And you know, you deal with that in such a beautiful way, because I know, and why I've brought you in as a mother, because we want to embrace especially a mother when she comes, because she's coming with this whole thing that, will I, there's a wedding, will I look the same I was before I had the child, will I look beautiful, am I beautiful? And then suddenly she wears something,
but
and then she,
does that really trouble people? Because I mean, it doesn't trouble me. I used to go
but
to
I like the
I
fact
used
of
to go to the parlor to get my hair cut, and the woman would say, "Oh, dye your hair." And I've got white hair for last 12 years, and I mean, I was only 40 when I had complete gray hair like this, right? Salt and pepper. And I would tell this woman over there across the counter and say, I worked very hard to get this,
yeah,
So
I
don't
said the
ask
same
me
thing.
to color my hair, because this is what I love and this is me. And also that people take me seriously. I get a seat in the metro if I have to go. Somebody gets up
Yeah.
and offers me, to carry my luggage or something like that. So this is what I would say. But now look at that, people have started accepting gray hair, and people have started making that into a trend, right? So they are breaking these shackles, and they are breaking these stereotypes and saying, oh, so I
I have
don't
the
think
same.
I think people are more comfortable with the way they are now. They aren't not all of them want to be out of the book or a picture book variety. I don't think they are. I mean, I don't know. You have been talking to so many mothers. Do you feel that?
I just think that I'm actually amazed, because now I've got so deep into this thing that honestly, like, this is a very honest confession as a photographer, because I was expensive. I was dealing with an upper class kind of a mom, okay, as a
Mm.
photographer, and they had a common problem, okay, which was okay to deal with, which I dealt with, and I dealt it beautifully and uplifted them. I'm like, "Itni badi, what's not a big deal, you know, it's okay," and whatever, whatever. But as you start going of a struggle at different strata, as you start going between a working mother, as you start going with a mother who doesn't have a mother, as you start going with a mother who has no support, when you meet a mother who's lost a child, when you meet a mother who has, who's had a very abusive marriage and who did not have the courage to say for 25 years that I want to leave you and, be okay and keep quiet about it. And this is not India, this is across the world. I must say this. I have just settled down, and the reason I think I'm blessed to be in this project is because my judgment has gone to zero, because I don't know what to expect and say, because the mothers I have met had a common problem because they came from a common kind of a background. And that's why I'm also saying in this book 100 shades of mothers. I'm not saying that every mother is in pain, and I'm not saying that every mother celebrates. You've celebrated, you've had the support. There's Rashmi Palkiwala who had a support, and she said, I never felt very bad about raising my children in Shikha, because so I said that, she like, do you think I should be part of your book? I said, of course, because you are one of the shades of mothers who has enjoyed it, and also because you are also surrounded by a lot of spirituality support, and you should come out as an inspiration, because that's what society needs to provide to a mother when she becomes a mother.
True.
And you said the same thing, because your confidence as a mother and your celebration as a mother is also coming from the fact that you felt supported. So what I'm saying is that there will be a mother who will be in an abusive thing, and she will come to you, and she must be coming to you. You will feel that pain, because when you're designing or creating or doing it, we're unable to talk about it mother to mother these days. We just think that we need to put on this whole thing, and also now children have become older. What's the point of talking about it? The time is already gone. Who wants to talk about it now? It's okay, life will move on. And let me
True.
tell you this also, that project is coming now more and more for my mother, who was schizophrenic, who was taken away when I was 6 years old and was told, you're not worthy of your children because you're totally violent. And she has stayed there forever. That's a waste of a mother who was educated 47 years back with double MA. She should have done something. Somebody should have provided some inspiration rather than putting this whole thing, it's black magic, it's this, it's that. You know how India is. And not to say that I was not loved, I was absolutely in a very loved family. My father is crazy about me, I'm crazy about my father. But there's a mother lost and gone. And this project comes as a dedication to her for me, because I'm a mother now, and I feel that there are so many kinds of mothers. And we need to start talking about all kinds of mothers. We need to bring this book together with all kinds of mothers, because even 100 is not enough. Even 100 shades are not enough. There are so many shades of mothers that even this is not enough. And that's why this book is becoming, when somebody looks at Sandhya's page today, and she does what she does, because Sandhya does make a lot of impact. The next question is on that. She does make with so much positivity, so much impact around her. When she looks at Sandhya's page in the middle of the night, when the house is sleeping and she's had enough and she wants to scream, she looks at this book and she says, if these mothers can do it, I can also. There is another way, right? And that's why you're here, Sandhya. It's an inspirational page. That's that
So
same.
yeah, there is this point that you kind of while talking just brought in, is that yes, it's a lot of sacrifice. It's a lot of a choice that you make. That you start off in your life with a background of good education from the best institute, and then you move on, and somewhere the children come in, and then whether you wanted to have the child or you had the child, or you're celebrating the child, whichever way they're with you, right? And then the mother does take the responsibility. One of the parent has to take the responsibility, and largely in India you would see that the mother takes the responsibility to slow down and to take the children ahead along with what she's doing. So
Right.
for me, yes, if sometimes when I'm in a low mood or something is not worked out, and then I might just say that it's then I look that, okay, I was handling too many kids and everything, so the kids and everything, so maybe I didn't have the time for myself. But then the joy that they give you, the joy that came along in that way, and how you became as a person, how you started looking into small things of life. So that's an additional thing that happens. So you have to find the middle way to say, yes, I'm happy here, and I am this is what I've missed out. And once my children are on their go, and if they are settled and they're doing what they're doing, basic education is out of the way, and they're on their feet, then you have your time. And that's when, if you've given them the right parenting, they support you. They come back
Yeah.
to say, okay, my mom and dad, you've done so much at this time of our life. Now we'll be there around you for whatever you want to do. It's not about financial support. It's just the emotional presence or emotional support or the physical presence, just to be there to say, I'm listening. And that's what is important, because we were listening, right? And that goes without saying to our parents also, because that's what they did. That was their journey, and you're listening, and that ear is so important.
Yeah.
And
So I feel that it's a blessing, Sandhya, and I'm telling you, it's a blessing that I feel very positive about myself today. You feel very positive, and I absolutely, absolutely, because I am heading this movement, feel that I wish I can provide this positivity to many mothers through these interviews. That there is a possibility. I know many, many things we can't understand. How do you understand losing a child who's 11 years old? How do you understand somebody in an abusive marriage? I can't. I can't. I have a very supportive husband. I have beautiful children, I can't understand it, but we can empathize with them. But moving on, because we have Ganesh Chaturthi today, I think you and me are so passionate. I am very passionate with so many mothers. I just keep going on and on. We get into this conversation. I want to talk about the impact you're making. What I love about you is that the impact you've made with your designs through special needs children, and incorporating them with work. You work with weavers. You work with a lot of stuff that impacts the environment. So let's quickly talk about that, and then we will move on to our last question, which is, we will manifest your dream. What is your dream? We'll talk about that, and then we can end and enjoy our festival.
so my journey as a designer, as a friend, as a mother. So I have friends, and like anybody would have friends, and some of my friends did do have special needs children. And so in once in my office, this young little boy came in, and very young, and he and his mother said, oh, I'm so sorry, I have a special needs. He was doing something, and so I said, it's okay, no problem, he's a child. So then he just turned around and say, they all think that I have some problem, but I don't have, I'm fine, it's you guys who have a problem. And that just sunk in me, just was with me. And I felt he was so right. It's the way we see which is a problem. It's not him or anybody else who has a problem. It is just the way we address these things, the way we look at these things, and how do we handle these things. And that's when I started working with I did a line with children with autism. And uh, and then I started working with the blind school children also. So we did develop a lot of things as collections with them. And I took it around, we got orders for them, and so many things. So to make livelihood possible for the children or adults with disabilities, or different, or if they're differently able, because that's something that the parents, as it weighs on them, what will happen to my child after I'm gone? How are
Right.
they going to survive? How are they going to do things? And especially when, if you are able to get a certain remuneration, or you're able to do something with your skill sets, whatever you have, it's a great gratifying thing where you really look at it and say, I have done this. And some of these children can't even say this, that they can't even experience this, or it's we who have to see that. And the joy of just coming and spending time and making something beautiful. So that's how I worked on that, and that project is doing well. And I hope to take it further and open up more lines. We have been able to do a store now, so in that we'll be putting these things this winter. They are
Lovely.
giftable things, so it's something that people can look at and pick up. Other
Wow.
than that, the changes that I have brought in is in the world of costuming, and how do you get tradition and design together? How do you work with crafts people and make their bring out livelihood programs for them, or reviving arts and crafts, sectors where you losing out on certain art forms and some craft forms. So those have been my area of specializations and things that I really am passionate about.
Right.
Um,
Yeah, I know. I mean, I am totally in awe of what all you can do. But my reason for choosing you here is actually you're embracing people who come in your life, and that embrace goes a long way. You don't even realize it. People like to hang around into your studios, chit chat with you, talk with you. It's not about
So
come. You
there's a
don't know.
joke in the family. There's a joke in the family that mama just goes to office to meet her friends.
Yeah.
So
I have hung around in your studio for quite some time as well. And so it just turns out to be into conversation. It turns out to be an embrace, and I absolutely admire that about you. And I'm very I don't know what word I have, but both your kids are very dear to me, and they also know it. If I meet them, it's not that even if I've not met them for 5 6 years, I immediately recognize them. I'll hold them. What are you doing? What are you up to? And that comes from a very strong mother. Okay, and that strong mother also becomes a strong mother when she has been raised like a strong daughter, and when that strong daughter has been raised by a mother who was also raised like a strong daughter. So this is what needs to be passed on. And if a broken thing happens in the middle, that is the mother this project is for. That is the mother this book is for, to say, fine, we are sorry.
I think it's a beautiful thing you're doing, Shikha, that these are stories and bonding between women, different mothers, and how my if my mother could teach me something, and you as a mother can also teach another child something, not only yours, just by being with you, meeting another aunt of hers or a friend of mine who has children, seeing and absorbing, and then the bonding and the love and giving nature comes in, and sharing nature comes in. So once you share your energies, your thoughts, your love, whatever your words, whatever, then it becomes a better space. So they have to create their own spaces and
Yeah.
bond with each other, and that's how I think that's what it's so important. That's why they say women build communities, they will build societies, and this is so important. It's that link that we're talking about, and now we realize why it's called Mother Earth, because it's
Yes.
building all along. And if you remember this
Yes.
movie Avatar, which I don't know if you
Yes.
remember
I
it,
love
there's
it.
one
I love
particular scene in which the tree has the roots going down and all of them plug in together. And that's what the mother is, because she pull out some connection sitting somewhere. You know that your child has in need of something. You are in some corner of Delhi, but if your child needs it in some other part of the world, you will pull out all your connection to see how do you get him or her settled, or the help is
Yeah.
sent to him. So
Yeah.
that's a very strong,
Yeah.
powerful connect. And I think all mothers have this, and all we need to do is to
Absolutely.
vitalize that, to
Absolutely.
rejuvenate that, because we have that. It's that strong umbilical cord connect and that energy that we can give life to, and we can take it forward.
Yeah, and I always say that what a mother can do once she becomes a mother, I don't think so anybody can do it on this earth, because once she's become a mother, the kinds of things and the steps she can take, even to protect her children, to do whatever she wants to. I have some chilling
Shika,
stories
I have
coming
to
up.
share one story with you, okay?
Yes.
So in Sardar Patel, both my children went to Sardar Patel, and there's a food festival that happens there every year, and all mothers are supposed to cook something, and there's a small fete within the school for the children, and all the small children get 5 rupees to 10 rupees, and all these stuff is sold, and they buy for 1 rupee. Basically, they taught economics, and they taught different kind of foods of India. So I had taken up the responsibility to do something, and the school wanted me to make kulfi. And I never knew how to make kulfi. And that too, tilli wala kulfi, the stick kulfi. So to make that kulfi, that I went all from one end of Delhi to other end of Delhi. How do you make kulfi and sell it for 1 rupee? Because the market is selling it for 50 rupees and 35 rupees. That's the rate. So it was literally like crazy. And just like you said, the love for the child, and to make sure that this happens. Two of us, two mothers, we both went from one end of Delhi, from Chandni Chowk to Ghaziabad. We went looking for kulfi walas who will tell us the recipe to make kulfi. And
That's what I'm saying.
finally when it set, we shouted with joy and said, "Jam gayi kulfi," it's set.
Yeah.
So otherwise we thought we'll just give them some cold milk earlier. So
Yeah, yeah,
that's
that's
that.
the thing. Mothers will go to whatever limit, whether it's a small joy or a big joy, or saving their children, or I've had a mother and I was talking to her, and and I told her the mothers do whatever they can, and then she said, you know what? I could only leave abusive marriage for my kids. Till the time my kids were not there, I was quiet and I was taking it. But when my kids became part of it, I had the courage to get up and say enough. And she took her kids and left. And then I said, like, there are many stories which are there. But what I'm saying is that this book, is honoring mothers and is honoring all shades of mothers. I don't know if 100 shades are enough, but at least we can start there. Honor all shades. Honor the shade who's happy, honor the shade in between whose life their children come in and they sit down. This is my younger one, and trouble. So honor all kind of mothers who can be honored, and let's see. And people
Of
are telling
course,
me,
the mothers have to be honored, because not only do they do the rest, but also keep up their jobs with small children coming in and demanding whatever they want to at the peak of a project. So, and we
be
cater
okay
to
with
that.
it.
And,
That's true.
we've never said, no, we can't do this. Yes, the priority is always the child.
See, now he's pulling me, and there's all mommy, mommy, mommy. Okay, my mic is going to go away.
Will you see what I've got in the pockets?
Okay, 1 second. So this is what I'm trying to bring to mothers through life as well, because I'm like, all is okay. What happens is okay, and we still need to shine irrespective of. You can see, you can see all the hearing of the background. So sorry about that. I'm not sorry actually. It's part of my celebration of being a mom. But I just want to end this interview with one question, Sandhya, because I can talk to you forever. And I want to just ask you, this book is called 100 Self Portraits, 100 Dreams. And I'm telling everybody, my dream is that these 100 dreams should come true. And I have many, many mothers who have stated some beautiful dreams. And if these 100 dreams can come through with popularity of this book, I would have done my work in this life, first part of my work for sure. So what's your dream?
What's my dream? I mean, there's so many dreams, like you rightly said.
One dream that you
One dream. One dream, my God, is to just see everybody happy around my family, and being there for them, and doing some amazing things for other mothers and spreading love. That's what my dream would be. It's
that
not
dream has already come true. You're already part of the book for other mothers. So that dream has come true. Now we are going to think about a dream for you, because I know there's so much in Sandhya that we can't cover it up anyway. So we are going to that dream has come true, that you're helping mothers by being in this book itself. Because all the 100 moms are going to take a pledge on the day of the launch, digital launch, which is happening on 8th of November, that when a mother reaches out to us, we will listen to her. We will not say,
definitely.
We will say, let me hear your story. If anything else, why don't you see this book with me and see, maybe you can relate to her, and maybe you can relate to her, and maybe you can relate to her. Somebody you will find who you can say, yes, I can relate to her, and I can do something, and I'm not lost. So that's come true already by being, and thank you so much for agreeing to being part of this.
Thank you for having me over, and all the best for the book. And of course, I'm going to be there with you, and send me some beautiful. And when are you coming to Delhi? We need to do some beautiful photographs.
Yeah, I don't know, because I'm stuck. My son doesn't let me wear a mask and doesn't let me travel right now, my younger one. So he has to grow up to know what a mask is. He has to grow up to know that you don't take it off at the flight, and then I can take a flight and come. So I'm holding myself back and waiting, but definitely we're going to be together in the coming next 1.5 months. And you will be meeting a lot of other mothers and connecting with them, because everybody has a group, and you will be connecting to all kinds of mothers. So it's amazing. Patrina has been very active today. And she's totally relating to this, and she's supporting us through and through in this. She's a beautiful grandmother now. She's having a grandchild coming in soon. Sandhya, thank you, Sandhya, and Integrate Work and Being a Mom. Love this. Thank you for all you're doing. Melanie is here. Kavita is here. They're just beautiful mothers who've been supporting.
Thank you, guys. Thank you so much for connecting.
More will wake up right now and start writing. So we'll meet all of them.
Yes.
They're all the moms in the book, so you will meet all of them.
Yes.
Some of the other. Yeah. So much heart. Thank you. Thank you, Sandhya. Happy Ganesh Chaturthi, and I shall see you soon. So I'm going off.
You all signing off. All
Don't go
mothers,
off.
we rock.
Becomes live.
Not
Stop
only do we
stopping.
rock, we're also rock solid. Bye, guys.
Oh, that's a good one. That's a good one. We rock and we're rock solid. That's awesome. I'm going to stop live now.